Hey everybody, it's Megan with Unleashed. I'm just here today to talk to you about how to make sense of your to-do list. We know that it's always taxing to tackle the to-do list, and it makes me crazy when my list is long and I have no idea what order to do things in, what makes the most sense to get done first. Everything feels like it's important. So, here is a handy little urgent, important matrix that can help make sense out of your to-do list. So here's how it works. Take out your to-do list, cry a little, then woman up. We got this. All right, so look at each item on your to-do list and ask yourself, is this really important and is this really urgent? Really. Be honest, because where you put these things is going to be really important for how to get more done and how to feel like you're doing the right things in the right order. So when you're finished entering your items into the quadrant, you'll see me do that. Take a break because it's a lot of work to kind of think through this stuff. So I think breaks are important. There's two things I think that are really important: breaks and celebrations. So don't forget that. Next, when we're looking at the quadrants where things fall into, there's a high urgent, high importance quadrant. Those are the things that you want to do first. Then you want to do things in the high urgent, low importance. Those are things that need to be done quickly but don't have quite as much importance. Then there's items to be completed that are in the low urgent, high importance category. And then how do we get rid of things that fall into the low urgent, low importance quadrants? These are things that usually are distractions and we put in our to-do list because they make us feel like maybe we'll do them someday, but sometimes they just make us feel bogged down and we don't really want to do them anyway. But we put them in our list. So let's just get those on the quadrants and we can see how things look. So, like I said, celebration is very important. All right, so here are some examples in the urgent importance matrix. As you'll see, on the left-hand side, this is where urgent, low urgent to high urgent rests. And here's where low and high importance lives. So if you look here, high urgent, low importance, these are things that are pressing problems, deadline-driven projects, or last-minute prep for activities. They're high urgent, low importance. High urgent, high importance are things like relationship-driven projects, billable hour projects. These are the things that get you paid, and client-centered work or customer-centered work. In the low urgent, low importance, these are things that you probably don't need to do. Meetings without clear outcomes and agendas, screw them. Other people's agendas, interruptions, and drama and gossip. And then in the low urgent, high importance quadrant, we have delegate, put it off until. And some of these things include filing, bookkeeping, some of those kinds of things you know need to happen, but they're not necessarily urgent. They're important, but not urgent. So I've included in here a fillable form, so you can type right into this form where your items fall in these quadrants. So here's a couple examples from my to-do list. So high urgent, low important. So something that's really urgent but it's not super important. This is probably some emails. Now, not all emails fall into this category, but these are things that are urgent but not super important. They're things that other people think are important but not necessarily urgent to you. So you kind of have to go through and figure out which ones fit into that category. High urgent, high importance. These are definitely like a presentation for a client. Fits in here. These are things like returning client phone calls. Those are things that are high importance and highly urgent. You want to be on top of anything that has to do with relationships and especially with your clients. Low urgent, low importance. When you look at your to-do list, what are things on there that you really don't have any intention of ever doing? I know some people feel like they must blog. They must have a blog. They feel like they have to do it for their industry or for whatever, fill in the blank for the reason. But they really don't ever do it, and then no intention of ever doing it. They just put it on their list, and all it does is drag you down when you have stuff in the low urgent, low importance. Another thing I can think of here is making cookies for a PTA. So a sign-up sheet goes out, everyone's signing up to make stuff for the bake sale, and you sign up for cookies. And the minute you sign up for it, you know, this is a mistake. I am not going to have time to make cookies. I don't even like making cookies. I don't even eat cookies. So, why are you putting it on your to-do list? Let's talk about how you could maybe do something like write a check to the PTA. How about a check for $20? And you do not have to make cookies. So this is a really good tool for kind of checking your assumptions and checking yourself for what you're saying yes to and what you could maybe do in a different way or get rid of altogether. So low urgent, high importance. Another thing in the other example, this is like reconcile my checkbook. I know it has to happen, but it's not necessarily urgent. The only time reconciling your checkbook ever gets urgent is right here on April 14th. Well, if you're a corporation, it's March 14th when it's due March 15th or April 15th if you're just filing as a sole proprietor. So make sure to, things can jump around on this list, but today, as of right now, what does your list look like in this urgent importance matrix? I think it will really help you get a handle on your to-do list and help you feel like you're doing the right things at the right time. Thanks for listening today, and let us know if you have any questions or comments in the comments below. Thanks.